let's just say AI has changed your world.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. All righty. Thanks for that, Joyce. That was very sweet. And thank you, Michael, for hosting this. It's always great to be back at these events and visiting with great friends and listening to great panels. So here I am, Ed Prado, RAIR Technologies. We've been around for 5 years. In that time, we've seen the world change from NFTs to crypto to AI, and we've been there along the way. And today I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit after that awesome panel about AI's impact on crypto. And we're going to talk a little bit about how these two technologies, in my mind, I think in everybody's mind, we're pretty sure on this, are going to converge, and how AI is actually going to help crypto and blockchain expand immensely through the expansion of developers. And that's something we're working with right now. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, the convergence, and I don't think there's any doubt here, but we're looking at AI and blockchain sort of converging, coming together, and creating a single digital infrastructure layer. And this will be the foundational operating system for the future of digital economies. And why is that? People ask. Um, let's. It's pretty simple, and I think it was mentioned earlier in the panel and the talk with Eric this morning. And that's the idea that AI brings the intelligence, and AI also brings the dynamic decision making. But what AI is absent of is the trust. And the real trust layer here is blockchain. Blockchain also brings the financial rails that you need. You know, we talked about these agentic agents that are going to go out and do things. Those agentic agents need financial rails, and they're not going to run on credit cards. So together, really, you get to a place where you have an autonomous, trusted digital system, and that's what we're really excited about. But as I said earlier, we're going to take a deep dive into the developer problem. And this is something we've seen, and it's something you just heard on this panel when they were asked, hey, what's the takeaway? And everybody's like, we need developers. We need people to build on our network. And this is something that's it's been a real problem. It's been a real friction point for Web3. So currently, the world of developers, if you take all the Web3 developers in the world, there's about 30,000 of them. And there's only about 3,000 of these that are full-time. So that's on one side of the equation. On the other side of the equation is you have literally hundreds of L1s and L2s, and they're all chasing the same developers. So in the end, this is sort of like having, millions of cars and only having a couple hundred mechanics. So there's a real sort of there's a real sort of imbalance in the supply and demand of that world. So here's the solution path. We feel really strongly, and this is what we've been working on. We're focused on the developer economy essentially. But if you put more developers out in the marketplace, those developers basically develop apps or dapps, decentralized applications. Those dapps yield more transactions, and those transactions utilize more crypto in the form of gas, payment, or whatever. So it's really like, it's a soup to nuts thing. It's very linear. And this is something that I think everybody's looked at, but nobody's been able to solve until now because you haven't had AI. AI is the game changer. Oops. All right, vibe coding. Who here is vibe coded or has at least heard of vibe coding? All right, vibe coding is going to change the world. We've seen a lot of it in Web 2. And essentially what vibe coding allows you to do is the developer expresses its intent. You typically use an IDE, which is an integrated development model, and this is like Cursor or like Windsurf. And essentially you, through language, tell the cursor what to do, and it goes in and programs for you. So long gone are the days of hacking out 3,000 lines of code. AI could do it for you much faster, much more efficient, much better. So AI processes the code and out comes the executable code. So it's very, again, very linear. The problem with that process is it's very geared towards Web 2. If you go into Cursor or Windsurf and you're trying to build something on Web 3, it always breaks. So inherent in what we've been doing all along, we RAIR initially started trying to create developer tools and programs that helps you basically get to an application quicker. About a year and a half ago, we launched the RAIR protocol. It's got 91 integrations, but all that is what I call BC. It's before AI. And we realized 6 months ago that AI wasn't going away and that we needed to harness this accelerator to help us build and help others build faster. So basically, what we've built is an AI framework that sits inside and works alongside Cursor and Windsurf if you use that. And it is basically an entire library of commands that are tuned to the L1 or L2 so that the result is something that works. The other thing we've added to this that's really important that I've learned here in the past couple of years is the infrastructure. You could spend literally a couple months setting up your infrastructure to deploy an application. And by that, I mean the database, the front end. You deal with Google, it's really expensive. We've basically spun out infrastructure that is zero cost for your first million users. The back end is this database company called Supabase. They actually work with Netflix. And the front end is this thing called Vercel. So we have basically wrapped that and Web3 in one tight package that basically operates with AI seamlessly. And again, the mission for us is scaling from 30,000 current developers to billions. I'm not a developer. I built my first application 2 weeks ago on DevDapp. So really exciting stuff. So the road ahead, AI needs Web3. Web3 needs AI, but currently, in an interesting way, AI is going to amplify Web3, blockchain, and crypto by giving us more developers. And that's what we're doing. So if anybody here is part of a project, a blockchain or some other project, and they want to talk to me, I'd love to speak with you about what we've built and how it might help you accelerate your mission by bringing you developers, by integrating. That's what we do. We go out and integrate with chains, we charge you an integration fee, and then we bring you developers. Or if you have an interest in the investment side of this, I'd love to speak with you as well. Michael, thanks again for having me, and let's build.